Hi everybody, I'm Terry Stiles. Welcome to Oxford News This Week. There's a new door in Oxford. The fire department gets a new face and hazardous waste disposal. That and more in this edition of Oxford News This Week right now. Built over 140 years ago, the Emmanuel Congregational United Church of Christ may need a few repairs, and the bell tower doors, original to the building, were the latest on the list to be repaired. Last week, co-owner of Caveman and Pip, Craig Shagina, did the job. According to Shagina, more than 50 coats of paint layers, mostly dark green, had to be removed from that old door. The doors were then sanded and repairs were made to the wood. The wood, according to Shagina, possibly came from the area. For the past few years, the church has been trying to raise money for larger projects, such as replacing the roof. Money for the doors was donated by two individuals who wanted to help on a more immediate basis. Fundraising for the roof is difficult because it has such a small congregation. The goal is to raise $30,000. If you'd like to donate, contact Liz Wilson at the church at number 1 Hovey Street in Oxford. Jim?
An old bridge in Oxford Township is leaving residents actually without garbage pickup. The 50-year-old wooden bridge between the mainland and Maloney Avenue Peninsula is failing, and the Oakland County Road Commission just imposed a weight limit on it, reducing it to 9 tons, which is less than a normal garbage truck or school bus. More than 15 homes will be affected by this change until the bridge can be rebuilt by the county sometime in 2022. More than 3 garbage haulers servicing the residents, GFL Environmental is the only one attempting to help by sending management out to see if a smaller truck could pass. However, it would require all 15 residents to change haulers. In the meantime, residents are stuck with hauling their garbage to the mainland, as well as students having to change bus stops. Township Supervisor Jack Curtis said even thought that Township did not cause the problem. They're trying to solve the issues and trying to get the weighmaster and haulers to work out an ideal way. He doesn't want the community to know that fire trucks and EMS will be allowed to cross as long as it's an emergency. Kind of a different situation out there, Terry.
If you haven't been able to get rid of your hazardous waste garbage, now is your last chance. The final No Haz collection event of 2021 will be Saturday, September 25th from 8 to 2 p.m. and that's at the Oakland County Service Center at 1200 North Telegraph in Pontiac. No Haz collection events are free for Oxford residents, but you need to register. Go to nohaz.com. Jim?
Despite the route being changed, rumors to the contrary, the Oxford High School will have a homecoming parade. It is Friday, September 24th. Starting at 5:30, participants will line up at 5 p.m. behind the swimming pool at the Oxford High School, and then the parade will go in clockwise around the school onto North Oxford Road and from North Lot and finish at the south exit of the South Lot. North Oxford Road will also be closed for the North Lot entrance until about 6:15 p.m. The entrance to the North Lot will remain open during the parade. So vehicles will still be able to park, but no exit, not be able to exit the lot until the end of the parade. The South Lot will be closed. The route has been shortened because of the ongoing balancing work done by the school south of the high school. The safety path along the North Oxford Road has not been replaced, so there will be no place for spectators to stand. The theme this year, Big City Life. The homecoming game will be against the Clarkston Wolves at the 7 p.m. A dance is planned Saturday, September 25th inside the gymnasium, and masks are required. The dance is planned for Saturday, September 25th inside there. Terry.
As of September 10th, there were 6 active COVID cases in the Oxford school system, 4 active student cases, 1 each at Lakeville Elementary, Oxford Early Learning Center, Oxford Middle School, and Oxford High School. There are 2 active staff cases, 1 at Clear Lake and 1 at Oxford Elementaries. There are only 2 students and no staff in quarantine due to potential exposure to school-related cases. Jim?
Our area saw an increase in the total number of COVID-related deaths this week. In addition, according to the numbers from the county, Leonard saw a total of nearly 3,000 cases. And the area code 48327, zip code, I should say, saw an increase of a total of cases from 385 to 391. The zip code 48370 saw an increase of 157 total cases to 160. 48371 is up from 199 to 136. Total COVID deaths in the area increased to 38 all in all. Again, the COVID statistics coming in. Terry?
Lifelong resident Chris Shear is the newest full-time member of the Oxford Fire Department. Shear graduated from OHS in 2016 and became interested in the department after a friend told him about working as an EMT. Shear became fully convinced that this was what he wanted to do after taking classes for the Department Fire Academy and the paramedic school at Ascension Genesis Hospital in Grand Blanc. In 2019, he joined the Oxford Fire Department as a paid on-call employee. He is looking forward to his future with Oxford. Congratulations. That looks like that's it for Oxford News this week. I guess if you want to catch those stories and more, you can watch us on Charter Channel 191 or AT&T Channel 99. You can also go to our Facebook page or our YouTube page. You can also catch some stories on the Charter Township of Oxford Facebook page and on the Leader, Oxford Leader newspaper.
I go to the
Thanks to all
Leader.
those guys
I'm going to start going
for the
to the
stories.
township more often. I hear there's a lot of good stuff there.
There are some good stories
can't
on
wait.
there. CJ's still doing his job as
Excellent.
communications director
Yeah.
at the township, and
Yeah.
also, you know, once a reporter, always a reporter.
I'm going to definitely check it out more often.
Good.
I will. And how are you? You ready? You having a good time?
Yeah, I am having a good time, and thanks for being here. I'm going to be gone next week, so
Darn.
you'll be here probably with Pauline Bennett from Addison Township.
Pauline Bennett. Okay, that'll be cool. I haven't seen her in a long time. How's she doing?
She's doing really well.
That's good. And you're getting ready for a nice little vacation?
Yes, I am.
I hope you have a wonderful vacation. Enjoy it. Get some
Thank
rest
you.
and rest, okay?
And don't go away, because we still have Dave Kenny coming up with Auto Talk and Science in the News, and we have Jim with sports.
Oh, I'm doing sports? Okay, I'm ready for it. Okay. And again, stay here. Stay with us. More coming up. Oxford News this week. We'll be right back.
Where we bring you news closer to home.
They do. We do.
Yep.
Cool.
This is the sound of confidence soaring.
Our mission is to educate, inspire, and honor.
This is the sound of honor roaring.
We should never, never forget those that gave their lives.
This is the sound of a generation rising above.
337 for Bravo Fox Papa.
We want to be involved in the education of young people so that they can take our aircraft and the stories that our pilots tell and realize their own dreams.
The Commemorative Air Force honors the heroes of yesterday while educating and inspiring the heroes of tomorrow.
Your future and how you live your life is dependent on how you think.
You can learn more at soundsofhistory.org right now.
Welcome to Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and these stories are taken from Automotive News. In our first story, General Motors urged some owners of Chevrolet Bolt electric cars to park and store their vehicles at least 50 feet away from other cars to reduce the risk that a spontaneous fire could spread. The Detroit automaker has recalled all of the roughly 142,000 Bolts sold since 2016 because the battery can catch fire. GM has taken a $1.8 billion charge so far for the cost of the recall and has been buying cars back from some disgruntled owners. The company expects to recoup much of the cost from battery supplier LG Corporation. The new advice is likely to rankle owners who are already limiting their use of the Volt to avoid overheating the battery and risking a fire. The parking guidance recommending a distance of 50 feet from other parked cars is especially difficult for owners in urban areas. GM has confirmed 10 fires. The Bolt normally can go 259 miles on a charge, but that has been limited by GM's guidance to avoid a fire. The automaker told Bolt owners to limit the charge to 90%, plug in more frequently, and avoid depleting the battery to below about 70 miles of remaining charge. They're also advised to park their vehicles outside immediately after charging and not leave them charging indoors overnight. The company will be telling Bolt owners who are concerned about parking in public places that it recommends keeping 50 feet from other cars in garages and lots, spokesman Dan Flores said. GM said the fires are a rare event and are the result of two uncommon defects that stem from a manufacturing problem in LG's plants in Michigan and in South Korea. And over at Mazda, Mazda is freshening the CX-5 for the 2022 model year with an updated exterior design and a new interior features while adding standard all-wheel drive to its entire crossover lineup for the coming model year. Although the current generation CX-5 dates from the 2017 model year and is ready for a redesign, Mazda is expected to replace the top-selling model in 2022 or 2023 with a new model called the CX-50 that will ride on a sportier platform. It's also possible that the CX-5 will sell alongside the CX-50 when the new model is released. For the front end, the grille has been updated with a new shape at the top corners and a three-dimensional texture that replaces the outgoing mesh surface, the company said. At the front and rear, the headlights and taillights have been restyled with rectangular LED lights. New aluminum alloy wheels complete the exterior refresh. Mazda also announced new seats for a more comfortable interior, a drive mode selector that offers different options to match road conditions, and suspension upgrades for a smoother ride and quieter cabin. The higher trim versions of the CX-5 with the turbocharged engine will also receive additional styling enhancements that help further the distance in the trims from the non-turbo models, Mazda said. The company said that its CX-5 line of crossovers would all come with standard all-wheel drive for 2022 in an effort to enhance safety and offer premium equipment levels as the brand carefully moves upmarket. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and we'll be right back.
Stop and listen. This is a public service announcement with Dakari Chapman. Why should you know your Constitution, and why should you know your rights as a U.S. citizen? How would you like it if someone didn't allow your club to meet at your house? I wouldn't, because that's not cool. How would you like to be tried without a jury? I wouldn't, because that's not cool. These things are not cool. Learn your rights as a U.S. citizen so you know what to do in these situations. Thanks for listening, and remember, it's an American thing, so learn it.
In the first game of league play since September 10th, the Oxford High School Wildcats played a spirited four quarters against West Bloomfield. The Lakers trading blows with the Bloomfield team, and all evening the visitors tipped the balance to their favor. With a challenge in the closing minutes, they set a score of 41-31. They actually lost that. While arguably the team's best performance of the season, there's still a lot of work to do. Line targeted communication issues as a number one problem, and they would have to hammer it out at the individual level. And there were a number of players Line recognized for their on-field accomplishments. Line praised the offensive line this week. Coach Line also says he faces a new challenge in a career that has actually taken him from Wildcat Stadium to the big show in Minneapolis and New Orleans. One team has always eluded him to victory. It was Lake Orion. Well, guess what? He got his wish this past week. Lake Orion Dragons, the route to the exact, beat the Dragons last Friday. The score on Lake Orion turf, 51-27. Again, the Lake Orion Dragons fall 1-2. The Oxford Wildcats pick up that victory on the away field. We are trying to secure that game, and we'll try to get it on here on OCTV. The win should give the Oxford Wildcats new life as they play Clarkston this Friday, and that, of course, is going to be the homecoming game. Come on down and support your Wildcats. Aaron the Carpenter, the Oxford resident, has been elected to the USA Softball Hall of Fame in Michigan. Carpenter, who grew up in Port Huron, a major softball hub in Michigan, began his modified softball career in 1993 and played several years with the Rockies in the Port Huron League. After a shoulder injury, he took a break for a few years. After resuming in 2001, Carpenter said his career highlight was winning the national championships in 2005, 2008, and 2011 with the Socorro Flyers. His teams have won 7 league championships and numerous tournaments. He retired in 2015. He is considered to be one of the best modified softball catchers in the state by the USA Softball of Michigan, who described him as a big house and equally intimidating. Modified softball is a hybrid of slow pitch and a fast pitch softball. The fast pitch Pitcher takes a step on the mound, swinging the ball all around in a windmill. Slow pitch involves a simple underhand pitch. Modified is basically standing on the mound, bringing your arm straight back and slinging it straight in. Carpenter was also a dangerous hitter. His presence on the plate has always, as a batter, has always been very impactful. A single up in the middle or the towering home run, you knew Aaron would get the job done. USA Softball of Michigan said in a statement, he was one of the most feared hitters that pitchers would face. He hit more big home runs over the years than anyone besides the amateur softball career. Carpenter is deeply involved in Oxford sports as well, with the varsity baseball team as an assistant. He's a coach of the 2015 junior varsity football head coach in Oxford High School. He also served Oxford Junior Wildcats program for many years. The director Carpenter's name will be inscribed on a plaque displayed at the USA Softball of Michigan Hall of Fame and the museum located at the state office at 3316 Isabella Street, and that's in Midland if you want to visit it. The 2021 USA Softball of Michigan Hall of Fame induction ceremony will take place at the H Hotel in Midland. That'll be on October 2nd at 7 o'clock. If you want to support him, 7 o'clock tickets will be available through, I guess you can contact them through September 10th, which will actually cost $50. Anyways, congratulations to him. And again, the Oxford Wildcats picking up that needed victory in Lake Orion. Unbelievable stuff. They're on with Clarkson this week. I'm Jim Hughes with Oxford Sports. We'll be back with more on Oxford News this week. Thank you.
Every year, distracted drivers are responsible for nearly 2.5 million car crashes. The National Safety Council reports cell phone use while driving leads to 1.6 million crashes. The NSC reports 1 out of every 4 car accidents in the United States is caused by texting and driving. Texting or reading text takes your eyes off the road for at least 5 seconds.
How you doing, ma'am?
So if you were traveling at 55 miles per hour, you're essentially driving the length of an entire football field blindfolded. Once a driver has been distracted, it takes only 3 seconds for a car crash to occur.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. The European and Japanese mission Bepi Colombo will make a flyby of the solar system's innermost world next month, diving to just 200 kilometers above the surface of sun-scorched Mercury. The spacecraft, which is specially designed to withstand the high temperatures near our star, will collect data and images during the pass, making its closest approach to Mercury known as the Peri-Herm on October 1st. This will be the first of 6 flybys by Mercury aimed at reducing Bepi Colombo's velocity, says Elsa Montagnon, the spacecraft operations manager on the Bepi Colombo mission at the European Space Agency. The speed tweaks from these passes will help set up the spacecraft for getting into orbit around the planet in December of 2025. The flyby will be the first time in more than 6 years that scientists have had a close-up view of Mercury. NASA's Messenger probe was the last mission to visit, and it revealed details of the enigmatic polar regions of the impact-scarred world and produced spectacular pictures of the surface before it was deliberately crashed into the planet at the end of its mission in 2015. Bepi Colombo's main cameras, which will be used for scientific imaging from orbit, will not be able to photograph Mercury during the flyby, as they'll have their vision obstructed by part of the spacecraft. However, the mission also carries so-called monitoring cameras used for keeping tabs on Bepi Colombo itself, which will capture images of the planet. Alongside 2 of the monitoring cameras, that is, 11 instruments will gather data during the flyby. This will include measurements of Mercury's magnetic field and the tenuous veil of material surrounding the planet known as an exosphere. The mission will also attempt to detect dust particles as it swoops by, which could tell researchers about material being blasted off the surface by impacting meteoroids. These would be the first ever measurements of dust near to Mercury, says ESA's Joe Zender, the Bepi Colombo deputy project scientist. During October's flyby, Bepi Colombo's next close encounter with Mercury will be June of next year. Once it gets into orbit around the planet a little over 4 years from now, the mission will split into 2 spacecraft that will conduct a detailed investigation of the magnetic fields enveloping the tiny world, as well as its composition and geological history. This is a very exciting time for the science team, says Emma Bunce at the University of Leicester, who is the principal investigator of the Mercury Imaging X-ray Spectrometer instrument on BepiColombo. We are on a really long journey to our final destination and science orbit around Mercury. To be able to see our target up close for the first time during the October flyby will be really special. Well, that's it for Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.